Over the last few years, I got to know the late, great Amy Winehouse very well. We were one of the first shows to play her records and got her to perform at the famous BBC Maida Vale studios back in 2003. I always knew she was going to be a star even back then. And when, in 2006, Back to Black came out and it went unsurprisingly stratospheric, I caught up with her when she was promoting Back to Black. But the Amy I met in 2006 was different to the Amy I first met back in 2003. Her various problems had made her a tabloid favourite. But despite this, she produced an album which would become a classic and win a sack full of awards. So how did she do it?
It's because I was very enthusiastic about doing a second album and the material I had. I think that made it a lot easier.
So, I mean, you've been quoted as saying, if I haven't done it, I just can't put it into a song. It has to be autobiographical.
Yeah. Yes.
Right. So let's go back. Rehab.
Okay. Well, in all truth, my managers did. I had a particularly bad episode, and I had to go and stay with my dad for a bit. And my managers came to my dad's house and said, we want to take you to this place. And I said, what happens if I don't want to go? Because to each their own. But for me, if I can't sort myself out, then I don't. I don't know if it's being a woman, being a Jewish woman, or just being me, like being really hard-headed. I think if I can't sort myself out, then no one can sort me out.
I mean, there must have been a lot of pressure on you, when your first album did so well.
Well, it wasn't a singles album. It sold well as a whole album.
That's it, yeah.
And so based on that and based on the fact that they knew they couldn't make me do anything, because if they rushed me, it wouldn't turn out good. I think based on that, they just left me to it. To the point where they even came to me a couple of years after Frank came out and said to me, do you even want to make a record? And I was like, no, I do. Just, I will.
But there's other pressures as well, isn't it? People start looking at you differently, acting differently around you. You start. People wanted to hear your opinions on things, and you're good with your opinions, and you're witty, you're intelligent. So you'd say things, and they'd be in the press, and all of a sudden, this Amy Winehouse, not monster, but like media magnet is born. And were you aware that was happening? And did you play it up, or did it not affect you, or am I reading too much into things?
No, maybe you are reading too much into it, I don't know, but I just think, when my first album came out, I was really outspoken about other artists, when I was making my first album, I was doing journalism, so obviously I was very outspoken, and being a musician, I had very strong views on a lot of people who, shouldn't be allowed to do music. I don't see it that way. I think I've mellowed out a lot more this time around, though, and I think, it's, like I said before, live and let live, people, everyone's got a day job, everyone's got something to do, and, if it keeps people busy, then so be it.
But when you get to that certain stage, that certain level of fame, there's going to be people digging at you all the time. I was watching the telly last night, and there was a program. Did you see that thing on last night about celebrity weight loss and things like that?
No.
And they were like, and they had all sorts of experts talking about you and other celebrities. But like I thought, I'm talking to her tomorrow, so I'm obviously more interested in you, and talking about how your weight loss and really personal things. How does that? How do things like that affect you? Do you sort of over your head, or?
Yeah, it kind of goes over my head. It's not like my friends sitting around going, "Why is she so thin?" Well, it's speculation. It's like, like I said, people have got something. It keeps people busy. Like everyone's got to do something with their time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm lucky that I can sing songs that make me happy. That I wrote about stuff that I'm lucky that I get to give myself therapy every day by singing songs about a really tough time in my life. Not everyone can do that. Everyone's got to go and talk about other people. I'm very lucky.
Yeah.
Very, very lucky. Other people aren't so lucky. I don't care if they want to talk about me. They can do whatever they want, as long as they can go home and go, "Oh, I had a good day," or whatever.
Yeah. You seem much older than you are, Amy. You're still very, very young. Frank was 3 years ago, and you're only 22 now, aren't you?
Yeah. No, I'm 23 now.
You're 23. So, how come it's been so accelerated for you? What is it in your past or your growing up that got you this ready and this talented, this developed so quickly? Do you think? That sounds like
my
such a brown nose and question,
no. My boyfriend just walked in and I just melted a bit. I was like, "Oh, he's here." I think it was because I think it's just because I'm very spiritual. I've always been very spiritual. My nan was a white witch. I've always been aware of other things around you rather than what's presented to you.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not really that. I'm quite immature. You know, like I'm quite stubborn.
You can still be a little girly, like.
Yeah, quite stubborn, and I do whatever I want, and I'm selfish and stuff. But I'm very selfless as well. I don't know. I don't really think I am older than my age.
All right, let's stop for a bit of music. You've got a new specially recorded acoustic session version of your current single, You Know I'm No Good.
Yeah.
Let's have a listen to that.
You tear me down like rock and roll. I cheated myself like I knew I would. I told you I was trouble. Yeah, you know that I'm no good. Upstairs in bed with my ex-boy.
That's You Know I'm No Good. An acoustic session version from Amy Winehouse. But I've been really looking forward to talking to you again.
Yeah, me too, actually. I saw that and I was like, am I going to be speaking to Craig directly?
Because I dine out on that story that you know, when you signed Frank, your copy of Frank to me. I know your boyfriend's just walked in, but I don't want to kick anything off, Frank. But you signed it, what was it? I know you didn't buy this album, but that is fine, because I used to fancy you when I was 9.
I did.
And I've been dining out on that. Thanks for the anecdote.
Can I just say one thing?
Yeah, go on.
I was talking the other day about how there's that bit. It's in series 1. I know I did used to fancy you in series 1.
Yeah.
And you're watching It's a Wonderful Life, and you're like drinking a beer milkshake or something and eating cereal.
Yeah.
And it's the bit, it's the bit where he's in the bank and he's got his honeymoon money.
Yeah.
And he goes, "How much do you want, Mrs. Someone?" And she goes, "I have $12 or $17." And the bit where you spit out all the cereal on yourself. I was talking about that the other day. Because I just thought it was so, because we were talking about It's a Wonderful Life.
Well,
anyway,
you know, I'm glad I've been so instrumental in your upbringing, in your development as an artist.
That's funny.
You Know I'm No Good. Let's talk about that.
You Know I'm No Good is about scenarios where I've just thrown myself into a moment without giving it much thought, and having been caught out in a moment, I'm just saying, well, I told you I'm not a very nice girl.
It's a bit sexy, the lyrics.
Yeah, the lyrics are a bit sexy. My boyfriend's now looking through the window at me like he wants to kill me.
What? Why? What have I done?
No, it's me.
What about Me and Mr. Jones then?
Me and Mr. Jones is about how I used to go out with this fella who, between me and him, because he worked for a record company, and I, I'm a singer, we used to be able to get guest lists for pretty much everything. There wasn't anything we couldn't really go to.
Yeah.
But if one of us couldn't, the other one would always sort the other one out. And there was one time at Jazz Cafe and Slick Rick was playing, and I wanted to go, and he just wasn't. I don't know what he was doing. Head was in the clouds. And then I was like, that's cold, that's Slick Rick, how dare you. But when Nas played Brixton and he still didn't get back to me, I was like, okay, Slick Rick is one thing, but Nas, I was like, do you know what? And I just kicked off. And it's just, me and Mr. Jones is really, because Nas's name is Nasir Jones, I'm just saying about how it's my Nas song. I think I've got to have a Nas song on every record.
You sound like Etta James on that, Me and Mr. Jones. I mean, yeah, you really do. I mean, it's real full on as well. It sounds like it was recorded 40, 50 years ago.
Oh, thank you. That's nice. Someone said to me the other day, like, did you intend to record it with the analog and something like some old sound or something? And I was like, what? I didn't even understand the question.
Well, it is. I mean, it does sound like it's sort of like but I'm not saying it's retro. I'm not saying that, but it does sound as though it's been recorded then, and it's like a long lost, forgotten gem from some black soul great from the 50s or early 60s.
Thanks.
It's a pleasure. I'm just chatting you up. Take your boyfriend that.
That's the kind. He can probably hear you. That's the kind of. No, he can hear you. That's the kind of thing I've been listening to. That's all.
That's it.
And I guess
that's the sort of stuff we play on this show as well. That's why I was when I heard it, I was thinking, hang on a minute, Amy's been listening to my show. I was thinking, would you say you've got an unusual vocal style? Because it is quite an unusual vocal style, isn't it?
I don't know. I mean, to me, if someone said you sing so or you sound different, you sound unique, that's the biggest compliment anyone could ever say, rather than you're a good singer. To say you sound different, it is. I wouldn't say, I stand apart, I'm so different, because I'm not a mimic, but everything I listen to I take on board, so maybe I am. But I don't know. Back to Black is my boyfriend's favourite one actually. He always sings it, and I'm like, that's about someone else. He's like, shut up, I love this song. But he's got a song. He's just written an album about what horrible girl I am.
Has he
But
really?
I love a couple. Like there's a few of his songs that I just can't get out of my head. Like certain days I just can't get them out of my head, and I'll be singing them. And like like it's just us singing songs about how much we hate.
Amy, you sound
Funny.
really loved up.
No, he's a lovely fella. He's too good for me. I'll tell you that. He's lovely.
You sound really loved up. Wedding bells or what?
I don't know, Alex.
Would you do that?
I don't know. We ask each other to marry. Like we're always like, "Will you marry me?" We do it every day. But we're very like. One day he goes, "Will you marry me?" I went, "Alex, no." And he's like, "What?" I was like, "Alex, we're like babies. What's wrong with you? I love you. Isn't that good enough?" No. I love you. What?
Amy, it's been great to talk to you again. I'm glad it's
too.
I'm glad it's going really well for you. You sound really happy and you sound in love.
Oh.
And keep going. I can't wait for the third album now as well.
All right.
And don't let them grind you down, babe.
Oh, never, ever. You too.
Sadly, there would be no third album. Amy Winehouse speaking to me back in 2006.
I